Good morning, everybody. It is just before 8 in the morning, and we're heading back to Hamilton today. They're having another big community sale at the church, so let's go see what we can find. I definitely have to say this is one of my favorite sales of the year. This is the one to get excited for. There's already a big line outside. Let's go. Okay, so here we are outside the church in the morning. We're standing on line. I'm just surveying what's outside, but there's even more inside the church, and their prices were really cheap. Yellow dots were 25 cents, blue dots are 50 cents, orange dots were $1, green was $3, red was $5, and dark green was $10. So everything with the yellow dot, 25 cents, everything with the blue dot, 50 cents for starters. I found these little Fenton bowls over here, so these are just 50 cents a piece. I grabbed those. I had grabbed that pink pedestal that I think was also 50 cents a piece, or 50 cents. What was over this way? Oh, there was this vase that's, it was by Eliakim Simpson, 2006, I believe. But I did look it up. I looked up the name. I didn't find anything on it. It was very, very heavy. There's a whole pile of Avon, Indiana cats. And I was having a tough time getting to his table. I was very blocked off, and I decided to get a little pushy. So I grabbed this and then decided, that's a trophy, and I'm going to walk away and see if I can get into this table in another spot. But this was the table with a lot of the fun stuff on it. So I tried to make my way down the aisle. I thought I was going to get in right there, but no. So I walked all the way past, grabbed this at the end of the table. This was just 50 cents. And then I was like, I'm going to try again to get into this table. Here I go. I'm going to get in. I'm going to get in here. Get into the nope. Blocked again. I could not for the life of me. And that woman at the end was there for a very long time. By the time I did get into the table, it was kind of picked over. I did want to check out that yellow vase on the back of the table. I looked at this really quick. I probably would have grabbed it if there were two of those candle holders. But over here on the back of the table, this yellow vase, or urn, I should say, because it did have a lid, kind of caught my eye, but it wound up being mass-produced, and it was really light when I picked it up, so it didn't feel like a quality piece, even for, some mass-produced things are still worth getting if they're made well, but if they're not made well, it's not worth it. I found this nice little set of the Anchor Hocking Moonstone, and the sugar bowl actually had a candlewick top and spoon with it, so that was kind of like a little bit of a bonus. But yeah, it was a creamer, sugar, and then 4 plates, and everything was in really good condition, so I slipped those right into my basket. This is Culver Glass, their Prado pattern, or Prado Gold pattern, and it could be worth a couple bucks, but unfortunately, looking at the glasses, a lot of the gold pattern had worn off already, so I decided I was going to leave those behind. I think I'd pick up another one. You can kind of see better that a lot of the gold is missing in that square bit of the pattern. And this was just a piece of milk glass with a Delftware pattern on it. It was pretty. They wanted $5 for it, so I wasn't 100% sure. And this I was just looking at for fun. Somebody had to remind me that that's just colored water in there, in case I didn't know that blue salad dressing doesn't exist. This bottle is Poland Spring gin bottle. They go for $15 to $18. These are Schaefer and Schlitz beer glasses. They want 25 cents each. You can get $25 for a set of 4. I wasn't in the mood. I like that pattern. It's called Vintage Kitchen, but I don't actually know who the maker is. And then that swirl of art glass there. A lot of people think those are Murano, but I think they're actually meant to be like trophies, because I have seen them with people's names and dates on them. I know Murano makes like another kind of coiled art glass sculptural thing, but I don't believe the coil mounted to lucite would be Murano. And yeah, there's that whole pile of the Indiana nesting or sleeping kittens. I think Avon had a similar votive holder. I see them everywhere, though. Back here was just a little bit of bottles. Nothing too fancy. What else was on this table that I grabbed? Just a plain decanter. I think that was it. Over here, I found these little glass, ceramic cat dishes. Danica Jubilee is what it says on the back. And they all just had these cute little unique faces, each of them. So with a price tag of 25 cents, I figured I'd just grab those. I love this sale. Here's a sneak peek. $5. All right, so now I'm checking out the stuff outside. I took one load to my car already. That was around $18 that I had already spent. I was a little bummed. I got over to his table and said vases, and I didn't get to that first. I'm just wondering what I may have actually missed by going inside first. It's just a USA pottery planter, but it did have a pretty significant crack on the side of it. So other than getting it for myself, it wasn't really worth it. I did think that bottle could be something, but it was super lightweight. And then this just had a pretty pattern, but it was a contemporary mass-produced piece. Then I found this Smith horse. I'll take that, thank you. And then this is Ohio Glass. It's their Lover's Cup, which it's a little weird because it's got 3 handles. So I'm not really sure why it's called a Lover's Cup. I'm sure there's a concept there that I don't really know about. And then I also found this little crystal bowl. But as I looked it over, I didn't recognize the pattern. And I already had some glassware to look up. But I also got the sense that it probably was missing a lid. So I did wind up leaving that behind. I meant to grab the Ohio Glass Lover's Cup, but when I put that little dish down, I put the cup down with it, and then I wound up leaving it behind. So not a big deal. I think they only go for like $14. I just hadn't sold one before, so I thought it'd be cool. This was just a set of clear glass pitchers, of which I have too many in my death pile to list. So I decided I was not going to get any of those. I'm on my second trip. I still have a couple bucks in my pocket, so I decided this time I'm going to grab this set of glasses for, actually I thought they were $5, but now I'm realizing I think they were $1. I also grabbed this engraving because it's by a guy named Alfred Hunt, and Hunt is my maiden name, so I figured I'd look that up and see if there's anything there. This was just a really cute tea tin. That's the Delftware pitcher. I'm just looking through some things. And then there was this ship decanter, which not really a huge fan of getting things like this to have to be cleaned, but I was doing really good, so I figured maybe I should take a second look at that. And then, of course, because I still have a couple bucks in my pocket and why not spend it, I figured I'd check out the jewelry section, and I did wind up picking up a couple little pieces. Nothing great, though. Hi, everybody. All right, so I am back from the church sale. I think I did all right. I spent about 35 bucks. I got a nice variety of items. You saw me grab a few things as I went through the video, but I'll show you in a little more detail the things that I did pick up. You saw in the walkthrough that things were like 25 cents, 50 cents, $1, stuff like that, really cheap. So let's see, one of the first things I came across was this pink pedestal bowl. I thought it could be a reproduction. It's just kind of an odd pink color. So this is by Gorham. It's called Emily's Attic, and it is a line of glasswork they came out with in the 90s. When people were starting to get into like more nostalgic houseware. So that's the deal with that. And it's got a blue sticker on it. So I paid 50 cents for that. And it was funny because I didn't reference the chart that much as I went through, other than like kind of the red and the dark green stickers, because those were like $5 and up to $10. And there were a couple of things that were individually priced higher than that didn't fit into that scheme. But one of the other things I found, and I walked past it a couple times, I got this for 50 cents. This is Costa Wharf. So Costa Boda, when they collaborated with Goran Wharf, he was a prominent glass maker of theirs, and this is one of their candlesticks. It's signed on the bottom, and it's actually numbered too. I probably list it for around $18 or $20, so not too bad there. I found this set. You saw me walk past them a couple times, and I eventually picked them up. I figured these were also reproduction, just based on the pattern. Mikasa has something very similar, but it doesn't have the gold on top like these do. So I don't know if it was a shared mold or if the person who owned these may have gold dipped them or something. But the gold is like fully intact, like they were never used. So I was like, that's worth it. They were $5. I'll probably sell the set for 20. Two little Fenton bowls, 50 cents a piece. So good deal there. They're both in really good condition. Just little like dessert fruit nut bowl kind of things. And I'll probably sell them as a pair for like 10 bucks. They have this little giraffe ring holder for 25 cents. I'm going to probably keep that. This is a set of Anchor Hocking, their Moonstone pattern. You can see the white opaqueness on the rim there. They had these 4 plates and the sugar creamer here. Okay, for, I think that was $8 for the whole, oh no, it was $6 for 8 pieces. But the sugar actually had a candle wick sugar lid and spoon on it when I grabbed it. So it had actually been sitting on the table like that. And I was like, well, that's not the lid, but I'm going to take it anyway. It's got a little bit of chipping on it, but probably if I wanted to, I could list it for like $8. You know, obviously there's a good, and even, you know, the spoon's in decent shape. So these were some cute little cat dishes, 25 cents for a stack of 4. And each of the cats, it's kind of hard to see on this one because you got the sticker, but each of the cats have like slightly different expressions. So they're pretty cute. I think they were originally a set of 6 or 8, but there were just 4 at the sale. And again, it's cat stuff, which I always sell. So I'll probably sell these for like 8 or 10 bucks, something like that. There were a couple of these Liberty Bell coin banks, and they were 50 cents a piece. They have the blue stickers on them. There was a pair of them. One actually is chipped on top, but then the other one, perfect condition, and it has some old Namco game tokens in it. So I'm actually going to look those up separately because some of those can even go for like $10 depending on what character is on the coin. But they are in there. I grabbed these because I'm trying to learn about some of this glassware, like the Wheaton bottles and pieces like this. So obviously, you know, I've said before, if it's cheap enough that I can grab it and put my hands on it, I'll try and do that. Their resale is probably, again, only about like $8 a piece, probably less because this one's chipped. So I don't know if I'll sell them together or split them up. Who knows? We haven't thought that far along yet. I grabbed the juicer. This is the Hazel Atlas crisscross pattern. This is just a nice, classic, timeless pattern. It's got the banded rings and they kind of cross each other. And this juicer was in good condition. People love this kind of stuff for their kitchens. Just simple, easy, vintage stuff that they'll probably use like 3 times. But, you know, it sells. I will probably list this for like 10 bucks. And I paid $1. So not bad there. I found these little Hall or USA Pottery. I think they're just USA Pottery Owl salt and pepper shakers. And this one is very cracked. I think I'm just going to wind up keeping these. I grabbed them just in case there was still like a market for cracked ones. But, you know, I got to be honest with you. This one's like really heavy and I haven't opened it. So let's see if I can very quickly, while we're here, just make sure there isn't like a bunch of gold in there. Probably not. And the fork is disintegrating as I'm doing this. So let's see if I pushed it in. It's just pepper. It's just filled with pepper. So not that exciting, but whatever. And we grabbed these. These were $1. These are Williamsburg pottery, just some simple candlesticks with their little handles on them. And I don't know if I showed the pattern on there, but they're tied together. So I haven't cleaned or done anything with this stuff. I've just gotten it home and unloaded. Found this little crouet. This was, I think, $1, I want to say, or 50 cents. And the stopper was in pretty good condition. It's got one little bruise on it. And this is, I don't think I identified this yet. No. The tricky thing, obviously, with a lot of this glass is it can be time consuming to identify it exactly because there are so many similar patterns. So sometimes you got to watch yourself because, again, you're going to spend a lot of time looking up something that's only worth like $10. So I'll spend a few minutes, but then if I can't solidly identify it, I will just, you know, list it for what it is, which is just a vintage clear glass crouet and not go too far with it. I don't think for the piece that it is, it's going to make much of a difference unless it was like, you know, a really high-end brand, which I don't believe it is. What was nice, though, is when I checked out, the woman checking me out told me this was her grandmother's, and it was one of her favorite pieces. So at least I have a bit of provenance, and hopefully I can find somebody to treasure this like she did. That's the whole point. Yeah, it's got a blue sticker. Oh, 50 cents, yeah. I found this ship's decanter. I wasn't going to get it. I don't normally buy these only because they're usually stained in the bottom, which this one does have a little bit of water staining. And that can be a bit of a bear and time-consuming thing to get clean. But I figured, you know, everything else was so inexpensive, I might as well give myself a little splurge, and I can put that kind of eye candy onto the eBay store. So this actually, I was able to identify. This is Eleanor by American Cut. I was able to figure this one out. The other trick with it, with identifying these patterns, is depending on the piece it's on, they will rearrange the pattern to fit the piece. So, you know, a pattern will look one way on a bowl, but then on a glass, it looks kind of different. And that can also take a couple minutes to figure out what you're looking at. What else do we have over here? This is, I love this. This is Fostoria Baroque Blue. This was 25 cents. It's got a yellow dot sticker on it. It's just sitting there, and I grabbed it. I think it's in like perfect condition. It might have water staining in it, but I should be able to get that clean. And probably I will list that around $20. So 50 cents for $20, hopefully. And then we got this guy, also 25 cents. Oh, there it is. He is a little glass bear by Viking. And I wasn't exactly sure at first this was definitely the Viking bear, just because the puddle around his rim, around the bottom was a little bit bigger than some of the ones I was looking at online. And then I finally saw one with a label that had this much of a, you know, kind of glass spill around the figurine itself. So I felt confident saying that this is Viking. I will probably do, I put 12, I'm going to maybe do 25 on this because I wrote notes, so I can't go back on what I was thinking. So I used to do a lot of research and not write anything down. And then when I go to list stuff, I'd have to like research it again because I didn't write stuff down. And I'd be like, was I going to charge that much? So I'm trying to be a little more disciplined and really get my notes right away. Oh, do these. So they had these, which are two nice glass pumpkins. I don't think they're by any specific artist. They're probably mass produced, especially this one. The stem on it is actually painted gold. It's not gold glass, and it's got like a little bit of antiquing on it to make it look like, I guess, an antique pumpkin stem, because that's real. But it does have nice color. I like purple and green. Those are kind of like my colors, purple and green. And then this one just had a good condition, a little bit better condition or quality, I would say, than this one. If you look at the bottom, you can see that the ribbing in this one is a lot more defined than this one. This is kind of a softer shape. This one's a little more defined. The stem is painted, and this one is actually stretched and coiled. So I don't know. I'll double check. But the pumpkins I usually do go for money are the ones by Luke Adams, Steve Lumberg, and was it Cone and Stone, something like that. I can't even read my own scribble scrabble there. But Luke Adams is the main one. He does like the pumpkin of the day, and some of those can go up there a little bit. Found this cute little tea tin. Just an adorable little tea tin, vintage. It's got wear, it's got rust, but I don't really care. I think somebody would certainly enjoy having that. It was 50 cents. I'll probably sell it for like 10 bucks. And I grabbed these napkin rings. These I'm going to keep. They're like little puka shell, I guess it's called. But we grew up in my house. We have these napkin rings. My mother has a set of like 8 of them. So when I found a set of 4, I was like, oh, cool. Now I can have a set for my house. They're nice, just shell napkin rings. So, yeah. Stop boring you with what I'm keeping. Found this outside real quick. This was, what, $5? Ellie Smith bookend horse. These come in a couple of different colors, and there's a ton of them listed. But, you know, again, hopefully with some decent photos and a good description, I can get mine to stand out a little bit more. And I'm a sucker for horses. I'm in a horse barn right now telling you about this. So there's that. One of these days I will introduce you to my horse, Ness. And what else? Oh, I think this is like the last thing, actually. That went kind of quick. I found this. I grabbed this from in front of a woman who was like just unbearably in the way and kind of hogging space at the end of the table, not letting anybody in over by this one section. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to grab this from right in front of her. And I did it. I did. I just grabbed it like right in front. I don't think she was happy with me, but whatever. I wasn't happy with her. I don't think it's Murano. I'm pretty sure it's a mass-produced piece. It's kind of crudely made the way this Milleforia is laying in here. It's very textured. You could say it's cased glass, but I would say it's missing a casing because I can feel the texture of all this work in here. And the handles are a little bit crude. Murano makes a similar vase. It's in shape and form, but it's red and it's much better done. I will look around online. There's no mark on the bottom. I will look around online and see if I can find an example of this with its label on it that says, you know, where it's from. That's one of the ways I try to identify things is if it's not marked, I try to find the same exact thing with the label. If I can't find the label, I'll either say it's in the style of or just call it what it is, and that's just an art glass vase. Some of the other companies that I've seen do things like this are some of the import companies, like was a JI Import Company, brings stuff in like this. Rossini has, I think, some stuff like this, and Toscani is the other company that's kind of a Murano knockoff. They do beautiful stuff, but it can definitely trick you into thinking it's Murano. So that's kind of the direction I lean in with that. And then other than that, I think that was everything. I did find this. I thought it might be worth $1 or $2, but honestly, I kind of like fell in love with it. I'm probably going to use it as a planter on my counter. And I think it would have had a plastic lid, by the way, too. That's missing. And it's a modern piece. It's milk glass, Delft. It's got the windmills on there or whatever. Yeah, so it's got like a concussion crack right here on the bottom. So we'll see if it can just hold some soil and some plants through the winter, because this winter I'm doing some more houseplant stuff for sure. And then I just found these cute little dragonfly candle holders that I will probably also keep. They're little glass, dollar store probably. And that is, I think, it. So yeah, it's kind of end of summer, so the garage sales are slowing down and the big sales are slowing down. But thankfully in this area, people tend to get bored into the colder temperatures quickly, and they have a lot of indoor garage sales throughout the winter, and church sales and sales at the schools to benefit the athletic team. So it's exciting to go into garage sale season, but sometimes around here it's even more exciting to go into the winter season and see what people bring out for all their different causes and things. So I will see you guys soon. I probably actually will hit a thrift store one of these days. I'm kind of missing it. I feel like I haven't been to a thrift store in like forever. So I'll probably do that next, and I'll see you guys for that. Thank you again for watching, and you guys have a great day. Bye.